This next portion of the presentation is about who's Jasper a good fit for and what students might be really successful in the Jasper program. The obvious place I'm going to start is this is for students who prefer and do well in a project-based learning environment. And those are two very different things. Some students prefer it, but they might not do well in it. And we want students who this is how they want to learn, this is how they want to be assessed, and are also up for the challenge of doing the work. And they're going to be successful in this type of environment. If we ever feel that Jasper is not a good fit for students not working, we can always make a change. But we really want to make sure that this communication is clearly communicated to all of you so that you know what it is that you're signing up for. So we want students who are about the project-based learning and typically do well in this kind of collaborative, but also independent environment. And that's the next part. There is both an independence and a collaboration component to Jasper. There are times where we expect the students to be able to go in a little bit more detail with maybe some research or some work independently, but there's also a lot of collaboration in the program. So it's not so much a personality preference, but we want students who are up for working both independently and with other people. We're not talking that everyone needs to be outgoing, but we want to make sure that kids are willing to work both by themselves and with other people. There's some other things on the far right with things that we've learned in the last 6 years of doing this program that we feel Jasper's a really good fit for students who might be looking for a small school feel in a much bigger school. This is also an interesting component because sometimes family members are looking for this on behalf of their children more so than the students might be thinking about it as a current eighth grader. The Emmaus High School population is about like 2,900 kids. It's the big school, and some are very intimidated by that. Some want something that they can be part of and have that small school feel, or a school within a much greater high school. So we have the luxuries, the perks, all the opportunities that come with the Emmaus High School, but we have with Jasper a smaller program and the opportunity to be part of something smaller in that much larger Emmaus High School. There are opportunities to be creative with greater student choice, and this might be what some students are looking for. They want that opportunity to choose how they're going to do a project, or they want that opportunity to choose what part of maybe like the Civil War they want to focus on, and really be able to pursue both talents, interests, passions, whatever it might be, just giving them greater student choice in their learning experience. We did a student survey with the eighth grade students when we went down to the middle schools to present Jasper. And I want to share this with everyone because I think there's something really important to take away. We asked the students anonymously to do this survey. Are you excited to go to high school next year? Do you understand all the courses that are available to you? But then numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6 are pretty indicative of whether or not students might be a good fit for the program. So number 3, I remember more when I do a project versus taking a test. I prefer hands-on learning. I prefer being graded and assessed on projects more than tests, and I like having choice when it comes to projects and other graded assignments. Both Iyer and Lower McCungy Middle School, we saw a majority of the students, definitely more than half, stood up when we asked them, if your paper says agree to number 3, 4, 5, and 6, please stand. We saw a majority of the students agreed with those statements. If your child agrees with 3, 4, 5, or 6, this might be a good fit. It might be worth looking into more. Now, a lot of students say that they like the projects because they come easier to them. And I want to make sure that everyone understands that there's still a lot of work involved. There's still a lot of time and commitment and dedication required in these projects. And because this is project-based learning, sometimes they're on another level. They're on a greater scale than maybe what the students have done previously. For students that like hands-on learning, it might be a great fit for some of our STEM classes. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that students know what they're signing up for, that they're able to do project-based learning, they're able to work independently and collaboratively so that they can be successful. Ultimately, we want everyone to be successful at Emmaus High School. Jasper is a great program. It's a fantastic fit for some students, but it's absolutely not a fit for every student. It's also appropriate for students that are college bound. We have our first group of Jasper students are currently freshmen in college, and we have seniors that are in Jasper right now that have also applied to schools. And what you see here on the screen are some of the schools that our students have gotten into so far. So I just want to make sure that it's very clear that this is a program for college bound students. Our courses are offered at the college preparatory, the CP level in terms of weight. So this is absolutely an option for students that are looking to go into college. It is also a program that can fit and work with students with a bunch of different interests. We have students who come in that are really interested in the arts, some that are interested in STEM, and everything in between. So it is absolutely not limited to one particular career field or another, but it's really for kids that are looking to learn in a different way, but absolutely have a lot of options coming out of high school. I also want to follow up a little bit more about that small school feel because I think this is a really important part. And I want to be able to speak a little bit more about how we're able to give students that small school feel. And I thought about this, and there's three main buckets that I want to share with you all right now. The first thing is the 8 to 9 transition. In my opinion, the ninth grade year of Jasper is the most important year. I think it's also the best year. We're able to do things with the incoming ninth graders that it's hard to scale and do with incoming class of over 600 students. So we have a lot of help and support with that 8 to 9 transition. We have a Jasper specific orientation in the summer right before the school year begins. And that gives the students an opportunity to meet the teachers in the program, to meet other students in the program who are also in their homeroom. And then our students learn how to navigate their schedule and walk the halls with the help of our Jasper upperclassmen. I've always met with the students, the incoming Jasper students in the summer, and their number one, unanimous, biggest fear, source of anxiety is getting lost in our school. So we have the older Jasper kids take the younger ones around so that on the first day of school, our Jasper kids are not getting lost. They know exactly where they're going, but they also go into the first day of school already knowing kids in their homeroom and already knowing the teachers. It's a really nice thing that we're able to do for them, which again, you can't really do it with over 600 kids. We also have student meetings throughout the course of the year, and they're different from ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th, and 12th. We have summer meetings that I conduct with all the students prior to the beginning of their ninth grade year. Just answer any questions that they might have, get to know them a little bit better. Some information I can share with the teachers, how we can be really, what we can do to make sure that the students are successful. I also have student-led conferences throughout the years, in some grades more than others, where the students kind of talk through what has, what their successes have been, what their challenges are, what their goals are. We then transition that into some meetings that we have with the students to be able to help them figure out what courses they want to take in the following year. This is always a really important thing. So there's just a few more touch points that we have in the program. It's a luxury for me to be able to have that time and that opportunity to meet with the students, be able to help them in those ways. And then we also have our Jasper Hornet homeroom. Every student at the high school is in a homeroom in the middle of the day with mixed grade levels. Every ninth grader will be in a homeroom with 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. But for our Jasper students, they're in a homeroom with other Jasper students. So our incoming Jasper ninth graders will be in a homeroom with kids who have been in the program for 3-4 years already. And it's nice for them to be able to collaborate. Those older kids can help out the younger kids. They can form some really neat relationships and friendships as well. So I think between those three things, we're able to give the kids that small school feel in the program. The final piece that I would like to share with you is a parent perspective. We have a video here from Mrs. Misty Armstrong, one of our assistant principals in East Penn School District. She's at Iyer Middle School, and she's also a parent of a Jasper student. So I'm going to let this video play. You can just hear a little bit more from her perspective on what it's like to have a student in the program, especially related to that small school feel.
Hello, East Penn families. My name is Misty Armstrong. Some of you may recognize me as the assistant principal at Iyer Middle School, but I'm also a mom to 3 boys who attend school in East Penn, 2 of which are currently enrolled at Emmaus High School. I was asked to share this video with you as a parent who has a child in the Jasper program at Emmaus. One of my fears when we first moved to this area was the size of the high school. In fact, at times it still gives me pause because I graduated from a high school that has fewer students than what Iyer Middle School currently has. I wanted a way for my boys to feel connected to their school, and I was worried about how that was going to happen in a school with almost 3,000 students. So when it was my middle son's turn to start looking at the courses he would take as a freshman, he began looking into the Jasper program. My middle son is a quiet kid, and I was worried that he'd get overlooked in a school that large. I'm so glad he decided to apply for Jasper. It has given him a small community in a large school. His teachers have gotten to know him as a student and as a person. My son comes home and he talks about the projects that he's currently working on, and he's gaining real life experiences that I know will help him long after he graduates from high school. Jasper has given him a sense of belonging early into his high school career, which as a parent, I'm very grateful for. So if you're like me and you want a way to make sure that your son or your daughter has something to make them feel connected to in school, and especially if they enjoy project-based or real-life learning experiences, then Jasper may be the program for them too. I can promise you one thing, it's worth your consideration.